The Electronic Frontier Foundation is an international non-profit digital rights group based in the United States. Provides funds for legal defense in court, presents amicus curiae briefs, defends individuals and new technologies from what it considers baseless or misdirected legal threats, works to expose government malfeasance, provides guidance to the government in courts, organizes political action and mass mailings, supports some new technologies which it believes preserve personal freedoms, maintains a database and websites of related news and information, monitors and challenges potential legislation that it believes would infringe on personal liberties and fair use, and solicits a list of what it considers patent abuses with intentions to defeat those that it considers without merit. History. Foundation. The Electronic Frontier Foundation was formed in July 1990 by John Gilmore, John Perry Barlow and Mitch Kapor in response to a series of actions by law enforcement agencies that led them to conclude that the authorities were gravely uninformed about emerging forms of online communication, and that there was a need for increased protection for Internet civil liberties. In April 1990, Barlow had been visited by a U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation agent in relation to the theft and distribution of the source code for a series of Macintosh ROMs. Barlow described the visitors, complicated by the agent's fairly complete unfamiliarity with computer technology. "I realized right away that before I could demonstrate my innocence, I would first have to explain to him what guilt might be." Barlow felt that his experience was symptomatic of a great paroxysm of governmental confusion during which everyone's liberties would become at risk. Barlow posted an account of this experience to the Well online community and was contacted by Mitch Kapor, who had had a similar experience. The pair agreed that there was a need to defend civil liberties on the Internet. Kapor agreed to fund any legal fees associated with such a defense, and the pair contacted New York lawyers Robinovitz, Boudin, Standard, Krinsky and Lieberman about defending several computer hackers from a Harper's Magazine forum on computers and freedom who have been the target of Secret Service raids. This generated a large amount of publicity which led to offers of financial support from John Gilmore and Steve Wozniak. Barlow and Kapor continued to research conflicts between the government and technology, and in June 1990 Barlow posted online the influential article, entitled "Crime and Puzzlement," in which Barlow announced his and Kapor's plans to create an organization to raise and disburse funds for education, lobbying, and litigation in the areas relating to digital speech and the extension of the Constitution into cyberspace. This generated further reaction and support for the ideas of Barlow and Kapor. In late June, Barlow held a series of dinners in San Francisco with major figures in the computer industry to develop a coherent response to these perceived threats. Barlow considered that the actions of the FBI and Secret Service were symptoms of a growing social crisis. Future shock. America was entering the information age with neither laws nor metaphors for the appropriate protection and conveyance of information itself. Barlow felt that to confront this a formal organization would be needed. He hired Kathy Cook as press coordinator, and began to set up what would become the Electronic Frontier Foundation. The Electronic Frontier Foundation was formally founded on July 10, 1990, by Kapor and Barlow, who very soon after elected Gilmore, Wozniak, and Stuart Brand to join them on the board of directors. Initial funding was provided by Kapor, Wozniak, and an anonymous benefactor. In 1990, Mike Godwin joined the organization as the first staff counsel. Then in 1991 Esther Dyson and Jerry Berman joined the F-board. By 1992 Cliff Figelo became the new director of Cambridge, and in December 1992 Jerry Berman became acting executive director. Early cases. The creation of the organization was motivated by the massive search and seizure on Steve Jackson games executed by the United States Secret Service early in 1990. Similar but officially unconnected law enforcement raids were being conducted across the United States at about that time as part of a state-federal task force called Operation Sun Devil. However, the Steve Jackson Games case, which became EFF's first high-profile case, was the major rallying point where EF began promoting computer and Internet-related civil liberties. In 1993, their offices moved to 1001 G Street in Washington, D.C. That same year, Big Dummy's Guide to the Internet, an Electronic Frontier Foundation publication, was made available for free download. EFF's second big case was Bernstein v. United States, led by Cindy Cohn, where programmer and Professor Daniel J. Bernstein sued the government for permission to publish his encryption software, Snuffle, and a paper describing it. More recently, the organization has been involved in defending Edward Felton, John Lech Johansson and Dmitry Sklerov. Expansion and development. The organization was originally located at Mitch Kapor's Kapor Enterprises, Inc. offices in Cambridge, Massachusetts. By the fall of 1993, the main EF offices were housed in Washington, D.C., headed up by Jerry Berman. During this time, some of EFF's attention focused on the business of influencing national policy, a business that was not entirely palatable to parts of the organization. In 1994, Mr. Berman parted ways with EF and formed the Center for Democracy and Technology. EF moved offices across town, where Drew Taubman briefly took the reins as director. In 1995, under the auspices of director Laurie Fenner, after some downsizing and in an effort to regroup and refocus on their base support, the organization moved offices to San Francisco, California. There, it took up temporary residence at John Gilmore's Toad Hall, and soon afterward moved into the Hams building at 1550 Bryant Street. After Fenner moved on to the EF board of directors for a while, the organization was led by Tara Lemmy. Just prior to the EFF's move into its offices at 454 Shotwell Street, in SF's Mission District, longtime EF legal director Shari Steele became the executive director. In the spring of 2006, EF announced the opening of an office in Washington, D.C., with 2 new staff attorneys. In 2012, EF announced a campaign to fund the renovation and move into a new building located at 815 Eddy Street in San Francisco. The move was completed in April 2013. On April 1, 2015, Shari Steele stepped down as executive director. Longtime legal director Cindy Cohn became the new executive director. Corin Masheri became the legal director and Kurt Opsahl became the general counsel. Des Cracker. By the mid-90s, the EF was becoming seriously concerned about the refusal of the U.S. government to license any secure encryption product for export unless it utilized key recovery, and claims that governments could not decrypt information when protected by DES. Continuing even after the public breaking of the code in the first of the day's challenges. They coordinated and supported the construction of the EF-DES cracker, using special-purpose hardware and software and costing only $210,000. This brought the record for breaking a message down to 56 hours on the 17th of July 1998 and to under 24 hours on the 19th of January 1999. The EF published the plans and source code for the cracker. Within 4 years, the advanced encryption standard was standardized as a replacement for DES activities. Litigation. The EF regularly brings and defends lawsuits at all levels of the U.S. legal system in pursuit of its goals and objectives. Many of the most significant technology law cases have involved the EF, including MGM Studios, Inc., v. Grokster, Limited, Apple v. Does, and others. Awards. The EF organizes 2 sets of awards to promote work in accordance with its goals and objectives. The EF Pioneer Awards are awarded annually to recognize individuals who, in its opinion, are leaders who are extending freedom and innovation on the electronic frontier. In 2009, The honorees were Limor Fried, Harry Herster, and Carl Malamud. The F Cooperative Computing Awards are a series of 4 awards meant to encourage ordinary Internet users to contribute to solving huge scientific problems, to be awarded to the first individual or group who discovers a prime number with a significant record number of decimal digits. The awards are funded by an anonymous donor. The awards are $50,000 to the first individual or group who discovers a prime number with at least 1 million decimal digits, awarded April 6, 2000. $100,000 to the first individual or group who discovers a prime number with at least 10 million decimal digits, awarded October 14, 2009. $150,000 to the first individual or group who discovers a prime number with at least 100 million decimal digits. $250,000 to the first individual or group who discovers a prime number with at least 1 billion decimal digits. Publications. F publishes through several outlets such as the periodical Effector, as well as its websites, blogs, and on social networking services. The F has sent a video message of support to global grassroots movement Compotatoj software. The F has developed some software and browser add-ons, including Switzerland, HTTPS Everywhere and Privacy Badger support. On February 18, 2004, the F announced that it had received $1.2 million from the estate of Leonard Zubkov. It used $1 million of this money to establish the F Endowment Fund for Digital Civil Liberties. In April 2011, George Hotz donated $10,000, the remainder of his legal defense money in his case against Sony. The Agit-Prop art group Psychological Industries has independently issued buttons with pop culture tropes, such as the logo of the laughing man from the anime series Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, a bleeding roller derby jammer, and the We Can Do It woman on a series of buttons on behalf of the F. Charity Navigator has given the F an overall rating of 4 out of 4 stars, including 4 stars for its financial efficiency and capacity. Beginning 2010, the F began regularly receiving income from the Humble Indie Bundle. In 2010, these donations made up 14% of EFF's total revenue for that year. In 2011, the F received $1 million from Google as part of a settlement of a class action related to privacy issues involving Google Buzz. Epic and 7 other privacy-focused non-profits protested that the plaintiffs' lawyers and Google had, in effect, arranged to give the majority of those funds to organizations that are currently paid by Google to lobby for or to consult for the company. An additional $1 million was obtained from Facebook in a similar settlement. In 2012, the F received $250,000 from Mark Cuban and $250,000 from Marcus Persson to support anti-patent activities. In late June 2014, the F flew a GEFAFLUG as 105GD4 blimp owned by and in conjunction with Greenpeace over the NSA's Bluffdale, Utah data center in protest against its purported illegal spying. On February 26, 2015, it was announced on Reddit's blog that the F had won first place in the A Reddit Donate campaign. A total of $82,765.95 was donated, or 10% of the total donation from the 10 top voted charities on Reddit. In literature, the F is mentioned in many novels that deal with cryptography or digital rights issues, including Digital Fortress by Dan Brown and the works of Cory Doctorow.